They're wondering about this other life that these characters are leading. That's one thing. The other thing is that it's a talent market. Okay? Because if you look at some of the stuff that I'm passing around, it's pretty good. And if you think about some of this, if you look at the stuff that I saw at these comic markets, a lot of it was very good. Very, very good. So what happens? The publishers, in this sea of intellectual property violations, trolling through, seeing who's popular, trolling through, seeing who's good. And so you go to a place like Clamp, big manga collective, hugely successful group of manga creators. They started out as doujinshi. They started out doing essentially knockoffs of what the hell is the name of the series? What's the name of the soccer series? You know, what is it? Yeah, Tsubasa. They started doing the knockoff of this soccer series, and they get discovered at the Doujinshi Komike in Osaka. Wow, these people are really good. Hey, young ladies, would you like to try something else? All of a sudden, they're some of the biggest manga creators in the world. So it serves as a customer, as a talent market. The other thing is that it also serves as free market research, because you can see a lot about where the market is going. For instance, there's a manga series called Prince of Tennis. Many of you are probably familiar with that. Well, there was a moment a couple of years ago when the doujinshi creators for Prince of Tennis suddenly stopped doing Prince of Tennis and started doing Bleach. And that was this kind of like canary in the coal mine that Prince of Tennis's big days were over. Now, to be fair, I know a lot of you believe that Prince of Tennis will always reign. But I know I saw one hardcore, I could just tell by the look on her face, one hardcore Prince of Tennis fan out there. So I just want to assure her that it's okay. But it was a sign that Bleach which is now huge, Bleach was about to break through. So it's free market. So think about that. That's a pretty good deal. Customer care for your best customers. It's a place to get new talent, and it's free market research. The only problem is that it violates the laws that are supposed to protect you. So we're just going to ignore them. We're not going to say it explicitly. We're going to do it implicitly. Anoku no ryokai. The other thing I want to make a point, a handful of you might be lawyers, is that you can actually make a pretty good case here that if you were to take that Clamp title and simply photocopy it and sell it, okay, the original Clamp. Take the photocopy the original Clamp and sell it. You're not doing anything original. And you're definitely hurting Clamp's commercial interests. All right? And so for that, the intellectual property laws make a lot of sense. But think about, if you're taking Clamp and you're reimagining the characters doing something else, if you're putting them in new scenarios, you're actually doing something original. You're not just ripping it off. And arguably, you're helping their commercial interests. So anyway, I went there to study comics, and to my both delight and my horror, I ended up with this really glorious tutorial in intellectual property of how you reckon with a world of super empowered fans, and how it's better to let the fans go forth and conquer and do these incredible things because it's actually to your business advantage. So that's the other big, that's the big kind of business takeaway. If we think about how cinema, American film, to some extent American publishing, American comics, American movies, American television can look at this for lessons on how to engage your fans and actually how to grow your business. Let's go to the second lesson here. Second lesson, which will bring us into this other topic here. One of the other things you realize about comics in Japan, a source of their ubiquity, is that you can do all kinds of things in manga. It's like television. We would never say television is only, on television, the medium of television, you can only do manga, you can only do stories for kids. You can say, no, television, no. You can do news, you can do documentaries, you can do sports, you can do dramas, you can do game shows, you can do reality shows. It's a medium, you can do all kinds of things. Japan does that. Not massively, but pretty significantly. So, for instance, you can find manga on just about any kind of topic. So, are any of you fans of the book Getting Things Done by David Allen? Okay? This is the Getting Things Done. This is basically a guide to time management, a la Getting Things Done, in manga. All right?